Realty Debate, powered by Reliance Home Finance with Manisha Natarajan.
Welcome back. So often we've traveled abroad and visited a home of a friend or a family member and really wondered, why do their flats, apartments, homes and buildings always look so much better than in India? How come they don't have chunks of plaster falling, walls with seepage showing and paint peeling? While these are, interior things, we do know that there are a lot of exterior structural nuances which also go into making a home durable. There's also a big problem of project delays. Why is it that we are never able to deliver in time? I mean, a 6 months to a year delay is taken as a norm and not an exception in India. Is it that we are not using the right construction material, technology, methodology? What is it that we just aren't getting right? Beyond building permits, I mean, I know approval delays are a problem, but let's put that aside. Why is it that we are not being able to match the timelines followed in, let's say, a Dubai or a Singapore? Joining me today for India's Construction Technology and Practices, Anil Sawhney, Associate Dean Director and Professor, School of Construction, RICS School of Built Environment. Also with me, Sanjay Kumar Vashne, Executive Director, Signature Global. Kalhan Mattu, Director, Planet 3 Studios Architecture Private Limited. Mohit Arora, Managing Director of Supertech Limited. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. I think let's start with the structure per se. And I think, Ms. Sawhney, you need to go first, because at RICS, I think there's a lot of, let's say, knowledge which resides in the structure itself. What is it that's missing? And why is it that we lag in the time of delivery?
I think the key issue that we need to understand is that it's about a holistic view of the technology and how it interfaces with our projects.
Okay.
If you look at the exterior envelope, there are many technologies. There's really nothing new under the sun now. There are many technologies that can be adopted, but we do not really innovate, do not look at and evaluate technologies carefully.
Okay.
And then embrace them in our projects. We just look at first cost and assume that if the first cost is slightly higher, it puts us as a disadvantage on our projects. But that's really not the case. If we can gain speed, if we can gain quality, if we can gain on a little bit on other aspects, including sustainability and safety during the construction work, I think it's definitely a plus. Time has come for us to stay away from sticks and bricks approach, which I call the traditional methods of construction. Sticks and bricks.
Sticks and bricks,
So
okay.
I think if we can look at modern methods of technology, modern methods of construction, there are many of them. Different projects will definitely need different technologies.
Okay. So you're saying that we still haven't adopted. We're looking at the first cost rather than what is essential to deliver a project in a speedy manner and in a really, really strong manner. Okay, Kalhan Mattu, would you agree with that premise that we are way behind, let's say, a Dubai or a Singapore when it comes to construction technology and practices?
No, absolutely. It's only now that we are talking about performance of buildings, and when the conversation comes to comparing capital expenditure with operating expenditure, capital expenditure always takes the precedence. So I think it's about our lack of understanding that a building is not merely the initial cost input into it. It's a system that you create which lasts a certain period of time, and there are certain costs associated with it, and human lives are associated with it. So I think that kind of refinement of understanding has yet to really come to us.
Mohit Arora, I think you're the sole person who's going to defend the industry along with your colleague here. But he's just become a developer, so I think your experience is much, much more than Sanjay's. Go ahead, tell us. I mean, is it true that the capital expenditure, if it's heavy at the beginning, the industry does not have the pocket to absorb those costs right now? And the vision is very short term?
Exactly, that's the problem here, that we do not see through the whole through the whole project plan. And even if we see the initial cost or the capital cost is so high that we tend to ignore it and we tend to go towards the conventional methods of construction. Yes, there are new technologies, and we as a company are on an ongoing basis we are getting into those new technologies, but these technologies need a very huge capital infusion in the beginning of the project, or when we start this technology itself. Like we got into precast technology, which is probably the fastest way to build homes these days. But that precast, to build those precast panels, it needs a very large setup of factory, which and setting up a factory runs into crores, and the factory itself becomes a profit center. So there's a need of, yes, there is a need of getting into new technology now to come over this whole situation, or the whole delays and the whole less quality situation.
But you're saying capital is a challenge.
Capital is definitely
capital is a challenge here.
Yes.
Okay, Sanjay, you've just adopted, I mean, you've got into your first project, and what's your experience been? I mean, have you invested, you're getting into an affordable segment where speed is of essence, right? If you miss the delivery deadline, I'm sorry, but your margins will disappear. So how are you going to meet that challenge?
We gone for the aluminium formwork. Actually, it's the aluminium formwork. The standard name in the market is a Maiwan shuttering. Maiwan is basically this Malaysian company, and we go as a Maiwan shuttering. So by using this Maiwan shuttering, basically we are reducing the time. Almost half. The slab cycle generally 15 days, we come to be a 7 days. By using a Maiwan shuttering, there is an integral construction of the wall, column, slab,
so
everything.
you're saying that you're doing the Maiwan. Is there anything else that you're following?
No, I just want to come up with the Maiwan technology, or what's this aluminum formwork. We are constructing an integrated construction. So the points you take, there is a seepage, a leakage, and durability issues. When we construct by using a Maiwan shuttering, all these issues has been eliminated, because you get a bilkul smooth surface. Construction as a homogeneous construction. So basically, the structure is more durable. And in terms of that, we reduce the time also.
All right. Okay. So let's dwell on these two. So Mohit Arora has mentioned precast technology. What does it do? Let me just tell you, less labor intensive. More than 70% of the part can be constructed at the precast fabrication unit, and only 30% has to be carried out on the actual construction site. Though to set up a factory of precast, not only do you need to consume it, you also need an open market to consume it, and that's also remained a big challenge. There are lots of precast factories now, but is there enough demand for that? So it's supposed to be faster, it's also supposed to be more cost effective and less labor intensive. Now Sanjay mentioned Maiwan technology, aluminium wall formwork, so reduces the turnaround time by almost half as compared to conventional technologies, and eliminates the labor-intensive activities like masonry and rendering, and provides more seismic resistance to the structure. Is that enough, Kalan Mattu? I mean, these two seem to be the two things which the industry really has adopted, but this just seems to me as a very strong, small part of what could be done.
Manisha, this is exactly the problem. We are so limited by the R&D done by a couple of companies that we are limiting our ambitions in terms of housing to the technologies that they have produced. But that's not the way. What we need to do really is that the industry as such, not just the industry bodies, but actually the individual developers need to invest in research and development. They need to partner with design firms. They need to partner with engineering firms. They need to create these cells that actually push the envelope further when it comes to new thinking in terms of construction. And that we lag so way behind in terms of construction technologies that, some things that have happened in West 50 years back seem to be new to us right now, which is incredible. I think, but I look at it positively.
Partnering with designers for research and development, there's no capital right now to even buy off-the-shelf technology and put it here. So Anand, sorry, I'm going to come to you. I think it's a very valid question also. Pardon me, that capital has always been a challenge. It seems to me like it's a very chicken and an egg situation. I don't think developers, I can't talk for everybody, but I don't think the industry wouldn't want to bring in technology which can actually help them execute faster and in a better way. Labor shortage has become such a big problem today. Anything which cuts down labor usage would be a big welcome move. But capital, do you agree that capital is a big challenge, or do you think it's an overblown excuse by developers?
I think it's a mix of both. If you look at it, Many studies have shown this. The traditional methods of construction, there's about 30% waste on construction sites. I'm not talking about just material waste. These are wastes in people and processes. Rework, you mentioned poor quality. Primarily poor quality stems from rework. We change design, we change things in between. So it causes a lot of rework issues, quality issues. So I think, again, as Mohit said, we need to look back and see in a holistic way in the entire project plan, where does technology fit, and not limit ourselves to just precast, prefab technologies. There are many technologies. Broadly, there are two categories. See, you can do improvements with the help of innovation and technology in situ, meaning on-site. There are definitely better formwork systems available. There are better designs available. Actually, design intervention can help a lot. So I think in situ improvements can be done if you want to go just for on-site technologies. But I believe off-site technologies are the real technologies that will help. Why do we need to build filler walls brick by brick with poor quality? Why can't we get cheaper, lighter, better quality wall panels and just put them in place? Obviously, it's not that simple.
Why can't we? Why don't you?
No, we definitely can do these things, and as the only obstacle which comes in between is capital, as we were just talking about.
But he's saying it's cheaper.
Yeah, definitely it's cheaper, but to get into such a technology, we definitely need some capital. Brick by brick, it goes on a pace and it matches the cash flows actually. And
now we've come to the basic thing, because so far the industry has been used to getting the money other than land. For everything else, the money has to come from the customer. But now that the dynamics are changing, and here's my question then. Again, I'm not going to put a builder under the scanner here. It's not fair to actually. But Anil, if you were to answer this question now, most looking at the delays and getting tired of the quality which is delivered, a lot of buyers want to go in for a ready product. Do you think the time's just right for the entire industry to now look at it, and more they have to move into the affordable segment, that this is the turning point where the industry should be looking very closely at getting technology savvy?
And I'll make 2 points. Point one is that business as usual is not helping anyone, not even the end user, not the developers, unfortunately. I don't know if Mohit agrees, but means delaying projects and not delivering is definitely a problem for all players in the industry.
Right.
So that as a benchmark we should appreciate and acknowledge that. So to move forward, I think we need to look at design as a solution, engineering as a solution, work innovatively to create products, to create technologies and other materials that can help us produce products faster. Now the second point actually relates to affordable housing. I am on the technology submission of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation, where we're looking at strictly what is defined under the PMAY, affordable housing 30 square meters. A lot of work is happening there, which can actually be used as reverse innovation in affordable sector, as other developers call them.
Okay, that's
so I
interesting
think
to know.
You can look at a number of technologies that are being tested in various labs, on various project sites, on various demonstration projects, because there's no other way but to use innovation, design and technology in those 20 million houses that have to be delivered in the next 7 years.
Talan Bhattu, so do you think affordable housing and the need to get that process absolutely right would probably drive a lot more technology innovation in this country?
Absolutely, and I think that is doing that. So, I mean, I'm privy to some information where reinforcements with concrete blocks have been used to build structures about ground plus 7. That saves you about 200 rupees a square foot or so. I'm privy to information where proprietary technologies are being used, like Coffer India has some technologies to offer. Now, these are ideas that are new, that are slightly out of the box, which don't always require a huge capital expenditure. In fact, reinforcing concrete blocks is the dumbest of the ideas, because you can do it with low skills, but yet have a cost advantage over there. So we really need to look at everything contextually we need to look at it in terms of what are the available technologies, skills that we have to achieve those housing goals.
You know, I really went through a long list of essentials. There's foundation, there's piling, there's shuttering, there's reinforcement, and I read up all of this. There's also, you know, the fire safety aspect of it, the seismic safety aspect of it. So really, we get deeper and deeper into the subject. There's so much which can be done, but I'm going to wrap out here, and I'm hoping that at least on the safety issues, for example, fire, I know, is something which really lacks in most Indian projects and buildings. Seismic and earthquake, I believe we've still got to a very, very decent area. I'm just hoping that together we create more awareness, and developers here both have been very honest in accepting that, look, we are still far away from global standards, but we're hoping to get there. I'll have to wrap out here. Thank you, gentlemen. Anil Sani, Sanjay Kumar, Kalan Mattu and Mohit Arora. Thanks very much, and we'll keep, you know, following up with regular stories. You do a new technology, call us, and our reporter will be there. I'm going to wrap out here. Very interesting discussions today on both green buildings in India. How does the real estate industry adopt green practices and take up sustainable as not just a lip service but a cause? And of course, basic construction technology to make sure that we get our flats and apartments that we paid for in time. Thanks for joining me, and goodbye.